Welcome everyone. So I'm sitting on a large physio ball, which is fun for me and might sometimes make me look unstable to you because I might be wobbling a little bit. That's because I am actually sitting on something that I feel very stable on, but otherwise you might be confused. So I'd like you to take a comfortable seat. I can see you here on my monitor. I can see you here, and I have you in my mirror over here, so I get to share your practice with you today. So please rest your hands in your lap. And let your eyes close. And just try to sense, that we're gathering here as if we were a tribe. We're coming from our adventures, and we're gathering here for a practice that we share, a practice that we intend to have benefit our personal well-being so that we can then be in our relationships, our contribution, our service, our considerations for each other and for the planet more beautifully. When you have a sense of this joining together, we're coming together from all directions. You might be coming from many directions in your own mind as well. So you can find the antenna of the plumb line of your body and bring your palms together at your heart. I'm going to ask you to listen for a few moments to that which you've brought with you to your practice today, which could be both the physical dullness or enthusiasm, or a kind of mental heaviness or inspiration, anything on that spectrum in all directions. Listen for what you've brought with you to your practice today. And then also listen for the deeper wisdom that you've been cultivating day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, in the tradition of and the practice of yoga, or any other healing art that you're involved in. And then listen back and back for the source of that wisdom into which we are tapping, that source into which we are placing our energy, our tiny boat on a large ocean. We're placing ourselves here today. We'll listen for that very expansive and timeless source of wisdom. May we endeavor together in this practice to then embody this wisdom in our thoughts and our actions and our relationships. We can chant together, please. Sahana bhavatu, sahana bhunaktu, saviryam karavavai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vivishavai, sahana bhavatu, sahana bhunaktu, saviryam karavavai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vivishavai, Bhunaktu Savedyan Karavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Madhivishavahi Om Shanti Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart and release your hands when you're ready. Excuse me. And we're going to practice a little bit of pranayama right now, where we've been doing this for the last couple of classes. And I want to give you a chance to feel that as a resource before we embark on the physical practice. So we'll be using breath of fire from here. And then when we inhale to hold the breath, you'll see me hold my hand up like that. We'll exhale through both nostrils, and we'll exhale left only and right only. Okay, so placing your hand for the Kapalabhati right here, just so you have a sense that the exhale is actually a quick expulsion of the breath out and a quick retraction of the diaphragm in. So take a half an inhale, please. Exhale completely. Then inhale from the bottom to the middle to the top and hold the breath in at the top. Exhale through both nostrils. Inhale from the bottom to the middle to the top of the heart and hold the breath at the top. Exhale left nostril only. Inhale from the bottom to the top and hold again. Exhale right nostril only. Relax your right hand down. You may relax the left hand if you're not going to use it for the second round of Kapalabhati. And then we'll do it one more time. So have just a brief inhale, like a half inhale. Exhale completely. Squeeze the belly to the very end of the exhale. And then inhale lower third, mid third, upper third to hold the breath at the top. Exhale both nostrils. Exhale by toning the deep, low belly slowly, consistently, and very firmly at the end of the exhalation. Then inhale, first third, middle, and upper third again. Hold the breath. Close the right nostril. Exhale, left side. Inhale, bottom, middle, and upper. Holding at the top. Closing the left nostril, exhale, right side. At the end of that exhale, relax both hands to your lap once again and just try to sense how you've now come together from all the directions you were going in the morning or the midday. Now how do you sense your plumb line? And then bringing this plumb line with you into your practice, please rise up to standing. I'm going to walk back to my yoga mat here. We are on the proper camera, Susie. So when we come up to standing to start, I'd like you to be able to clasp your hands behind your back. And for some of you, I know that that's difficult. You might have had a shoulder injury or shoulder replacement. So please use a yoga strap. Reach back to interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back. And as you press the arms back like this, reach back with both shoulders. I would recommend your gaze is forward on the horizon and that you're not tipping the front ribs forward so that the movement of the shoulders back is not also the movement of the front ribs forward. Take a deep breath in. When you exhale, give a little stronger squeeze to your shoulders, back towards the wall behind you, and a little more tone to the floating ribs on the front side. And do that once more, please. Inhale. And then exhale, release both hands and arms. Make your feet as wide as your yoga mat and come down to a ragdoll uttanasana. And when you come down, sense now how the exhale is processed by your body. What happens with your exhale? I'm going to recommend that you do a couple times the big inhale with a sigh for the exhale. So breathe in through the nose and let the whole back of the body kind of parachute open. And then when you exhale, make a sigh of the body on the exhale. And that sighing sound is something that you have control over. We can't hear you sighing, so please feel free to be playful about it. And do that twice more, please. So the inhale is expansive. And the exhale is like a sigh. And then one more time. Inhale is expansive and the exhale is like a sigh. Now reach back and interlace your fingers at the small of your back. Roll your shoulders open. Give a good strong squeeze of the arms. And this time as you inhale, bend your knees and take your chest and heart forward. And then exhale and drape down. Okay, inhale, bring your chest and your heart forward. And exhale to drape down. One more time, inhale your chest and your heart forward. And exhale to drape down, keeping your hands clasped, straighten your legs, energize your thighs, heels, toes, and rise up with your inhalation. And then exhale, release both arms. Okay, please turn onto your yoga mat for quadruped. Come down to table pose. Place both hands firmly on the floor at shoulder width. Straighten both elbows, please. Take your knees a few inches back behind your hips, and then as you inhale, shift into cat pose, where the whole back body parachutes towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring your heart forward to cow pose, and be very specific. You're bringing the heart forward, open your throat, lift your gaze. Again, inhale to cat pose. And exhale to your cow pose. Bring the heart forward, open your throat and lift your gaze. Again, inhale to cat. And exhale to cow pose. Bring your heart forward, open your throat, lift your gaze. And then reach back to child's pose for a few moments. And in child's pose, walk your hips back towards your heels, but take your fingers actively forward to lengthen and stretch your arms. And then try to sense the breath in the back hemisphere of the body, like you're making a big parachute of the back body. Just try to imagine the inhale when it comes in, it like fluffs up that parachute on the back side. And on the exhale, let the mind and the heart and the body kind of sigh, to sigh out the exhale. And do that twice more, please. So the inhale should feel like you can bring the breath into the back hemisphere of the body. You might even feel it at the back of the heart. And the exhale like a beautiful sigh, the mind, the heart, the body letting go of that which it does not need to carry. And then place your palms flat down and firmly once more. Now we're going to inhale, roll forward to cat pose, round your back like a parachute. Exhale, roll forward to cow pose. Here we go, inhale down to knees, chest, and chin pose. Exhale, scoot forward, cobra pose. Inhale, knees, chest, and chin. Exhale, cow pose. Inhale, cat pose. Exhale, child's pose, but only very briefly. Complete the exhale. Inhale, cat. Cow. Knees, chest, and chin. Cobra. Inchworm, also called knees, chest, and chin. Cow. Cat. Child's pose. Once more vigorous breathing now. Cat pose. Cow pose. Inchworm. Cobra. Inchworm. Cow. Cat. Child's pose. Allow the body to sigh, but please keep your hands and arms a little bit active. Press down into all 8 fingers and both thumbs, and lift the very center of the palms and your wrists and your forearms and elbows off the floor. Turn the crease of the elbows towards each other, and as you broaden your shoulder blades on your upper back, inhale to the back body like a parachute. And exhale like a sigh. Do that twice more, please. So the back of the lungs, the back of the waist, the back of your diaphragm. One more time. And then roll forward, plant your hands and transition to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. And it might be the first downward dog pose for you in this day. So you may need to sort of walk it out. You bend one knee deeply and then the other. And in your downward dog pose, energize your arms. So from the center of your heart, you could reach strongly into your hands, fingers, and thumbs. And from the center of your heart, up into your hips and your sitting bones. And then please walk your feet towards your hands, taking a baby step if you need to, and then another small step, or take one big step forward and arrive between your hands. Bring your hands to your hips and rise up to standing for Surya Namaskar. So join your hands together at your heart. And just pause again in the plumb line of your body to sense what have you been able to now bring in from all the external activities of the morning. How are you now in your plumb line? The center of the plumb line for your feet is at the front of your heels and the back of your arches. Press all 10 toes down. See if you can sense the lift of the arches and the activation of that spot at the back of each arch, at the front of each heel. Stand on this plumb line. So your leg muscles, your pelvic floor, and the system of the chakras are on that plumb line. Then bring the Ujjayi breath in. So now we've done the warm-ups, we've sort of moved the energy, we've asked the residue of the mind and the body to leave. Now we want this clear stream of the Ujjayi inhale and exhale. And here we go. Inhale the hands down, wide and up. At the top of your inhale, please lift your heart and look up. And then exhale, energize your legs so when you bow forward, the hips don't swing backwards. Inhale, glide forward through your heart. Also open your throat and your gaze this morning. Exhale, left foot back. Plant your toes. Root your right heel. Inhale, sweep the arms wide and go low belly, mid belly, upper chest and heart. Look up, please. Exhale, come Anjali Mudra with your hands. Inhale, raise the arms up. Lift your heart, collarbones, and eyes. Exhale, sweep the arms wide, clearing the windshield of the mind. Inhale, smooth breath. Raise your arms high. Exhale, hands to the heart, gaze forward. Inhale, rise up, lift your heart, open your throat and your eyes. And exhale, sweep the arms wide, come slowly forward and lightly touch the floor. Inhale, left foot forward, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale, step your right foot back, use the smooth sound of the Ujjayi breath. Then inhale, low belly, mid belly, heart. Open your throat, lift your gaze. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, raise your heart, open your throat, lift your eyes. Exhale, big circle of the arms. Inhale, raise the arms, low belly, mid torso, upper torso and heart. Exhale, hands to the heart. Once more, inhale to rise, aim upward like an arrow. And exhale, arms wide, heart forward, slowly down. Please touch the floor and step backwards, downward facing dog pose. And inhale, roll forward to plank pose. Hug your feet towards each other. Snug your hands towards each other. Tone the center line of the body. And see if your breath can find the back hemisphere of the body. This time we're going to exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Come onto your stomach, point your toes. Take your hands and arms back alongside your hips. And on the inhale, we'll rise up to Salambhasana. Lift your legs, your heart, shoulders, arms, and hands, and your head, and your gaze. And then exhale to lower smoothly. Inhale to go up. Exhale to lower down. At your body's pace. Please do it twice more. Last one. And we exhale to come down. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Press up to table pose. Reach back to child's pose for a moment. And once again, I'm going to ask you to come up to your fingertips so that your arms are active, but the rest of you is contemplative, reflective. Listen inside for that which is dissolving or going downstream, that which is coming back home, that which you're bringing back into the center of your awareness. And listen also for this long-standing tradition in which you are practicing right now. And then inhale, roll yourself forward to table pose. We shall resume. Let's go into plank pose, please. And then inhale, reach backwards to downward facing dog pose. Stabilize both arms and your left leg. And as you inhale, raise your right leg high. And stack your hips over your left thigh. Do your best to keep the arms strong and stable and the breath steady. And then as you next exhale, level your hips and glide your right foot forward between your hands. This time I'm going to ask you to touch your left knee down very lightly. Yes, it's touching, but don't let it crash to the floor. Inhale, raise up through your heart. Look up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, glide back up. Exhale, open the arms like you're clearing the windshield of the mind. Inhale, sweep the arms wide. And exhale, come down to the heart and lightly touch the floor. Inhale, backwards to downward dog pose. Now keeping both arms stable and your right leg stable. Inhale, raise your left leg high and stack your legs over your right thigh. Stack your hips, I should say. Yeah, good. And then when you exhale, level your pelvis and swing your left foot forward between your hands. Again, touch your right knee down very lightly. And then inhale, sweep up. Lift your heart, open your throat, lift your gaze. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale to rise. Exhale, take the arms wide and clear the windshield of the mind. Inhale to go up. exhale your hands to your heart and bow forward. Touch the floor. Okay, inhale, float your right foot forward. Keeping your legs steady. Exhale, a deep bow towards the thighs. Place your attention at the front of each of the heels, the back of each arch. And inhale, rise up to Urdhva Hastasana. Pour yourself down into that place in the heels. And then exhale to Anjali Mudra. And see if you can stack into that plumb line. The front of the heels. The center of the pelvic floor. Each of the chakras. So in this plumb line, if you sense in the pelvis, the bladder is kind of centered over the plumb line, over the pelvic floor. To the best of your ability, the kidneys and the back of the diaphragm are not compressed. And you can rest the center of the abdomen on the plumb line. The heart is neither too far forward nor back. The throat and the fifth chakra centered on that plumb line. Most of us have to glide the ears very slightly back so that from the throat to the upper palate, to the pineal gland, to the crown of the skull, there is this beautiful plumb line. And please release both hands. I'd like you to reach for 2 blocks. Okay, we're going to play with something here where in the last couple of weeks, we haven't done this pose recently. I was just checking to see if you left me a note. So we're going to be playing with a pose called Ardha Chandrasana. It's very similar to when you've stacked your legs in downward dog pose, but let me give you a little inroad here, something that you can do. So if you come down to 2 blocks on your hands and knees, like this for table in just a moment here, but you're going to watch first. When I place my hands on those 2 blocks, they're going to be a little bit wider than my shoulders because in Ardha Chandrasana, we do have the hands tiny bit wider to make what we're going to call an equilateral triangle between the standing foot and the 2 hands. So if I go like this, the knees are hip distance apart, the hands get accustomed to being a little bit wider like so. And if I press into a strong cat pose right here, then the cow pose is also elevated right through here, and the throat can open a bit more. And then I'm going to go to table pose. And to practice our first time opening up to half moon, we're actually going to step this foot out to the side. This is like a little bit like gate pose. And I'm going to open like this. And watch that my left shoulder goes over my left wrist. And that my left knee, if you look at this from the front on camera, the left knee is not lined up with the left hand. It's inside in its own groove right here. But the left hip goes over the left thigh. And the left shoulder goes over the left wrist. So that's the same as we'll do in half moon pose when we're doing the standing version of the pose. So let's come down and practice this sort of floor-based version to build your confidence. I'd like you to put both hands on the tall blocks, medium blocks, I should say, not tall, but medium. We might use tall for half moon pose. Put your knees hip distance apart. And let's try this inhale into cat pose to see how it feels with extra long arms. And then exhale to cow pose. Bring your heart forward. Notice how much you can open the chest and your throat and lift your gaze. Good. And then transition to table pose. Now step your right foot out to the side. You can have the toes pointing forward. Look down at your left thigh and stack your left hip over your left thigh. Pick up your right hand, and as you go to twist your pelvis to the right, firm your left outer hip. Rotate the inner belly, the rib cage, your heart. And as you raise your right arm, Momentarily look down and see that you are stacking over your left wrist and shoulder. Give yourself the joy of the freedom of the pose. Open your chest and heart and throat like a sail on a ship. And then exhale and fold that one down. Place your right hand on your block. Bring your right knee in to be hip distance. And then step the left leg out to the side. Firm up your right outer hip, so when you go to stack your pelvis to the left, you do have a sense that you're standing on a vertical right thigh. And then go ahead and twist to your left. And listen here for how you find your balance from within. What have you brought with you to your practice today? Where is that now? How have you come into your own plumb line? And can you sense yourself in the larger tradition of yoga? And then we're going to exhale and come down. Touch the two blocks and step your left knee back. Okay, now we're going to just test drive Ardha Chandrasana. Then we'll practice a little pranayama and we'll try it a second time. So let me have you step up now to Uttanasana so that your feet, if you look at the side view, your feet are going to be underneath your hips. Your hands are wide again on those two blocks. Let's press into cat pose with the torso and the arms. I know that will seem funny to some of you, but now please raise your left leg, still doing cat pose with the torso. Look back at your left toes. Now start stacking your hips without leaving the blocks with your hands. Rotate your pelvis over the strength of your right leg. Firm your right outer hip. And then using the parachute of the back body, lift your left arm very slowly. Rotate your rib cage, your heart. Stack your right arm over your right wrist. As your left arm goes up, you may also choose to turn your gaze. Listen for that which can be steady inside of you. And keeping the mind and the breath steady, the first thing to bring down is actually your gaze. So you start looking down between the two blocks or between where your two hands would have been. And then you can start lowering the left arm down to the left block. And then you level your shoulders, rib cage, hips, and lower your left foot next to your right. Second side, press into cat pose. Slide the right leg back. So cat pose means that you have to use the strength at your left outer hip. As you press down into your left leg, stack your hips over your left thigh. Keep the left thigh vertical. Then rotate the low belly and your rib cage and your heart and your right arm. Use both your left leg and your left arm strongly for right now. And you can choose if today is a day when you also move your gaze towards Ardha Chandrasana. And then you're going to slowly return your gaze to the floor first, and then the right hand. So the rest of the pose is not so concerned with releasing. The right hand comes to the block, and then rotate your shoulders, rib cage, hips, lower your right foot down. Enjoy a deep Uttanasana. And then shift your hands to your hips, rise up to standing. Okay, let's check and see if we have our Jedi Knight powers. So you take a block like this, sit on it in Vajrasana. Rest your hands in your lap. Let all that just happened be a part of your experience. You're doing great, by the way. So when you come to sit upright right now, we're going to center in for pranayama, and then we'll see what the pose feels like after pranayama. I will ask you first just to notice like everything you brought to the practice, what of that has faded? How you sensed yourself coming into the resources that are a part of your practice from the days and weeks and months and years. And here you are also in the tradition of yoga. And you cannot be evaluated. Your worth is not determined by one half moon pose. But we are here to learn something about the power of the pranayama to bring the mind and the body together. So please bring your right hand up and rest your thumb to close the right nostril completely. On the left side, we'll just use a part-way opened nostril. You can have it half open or 2/3 open. And we'll be doing then a slower inhale on the left nostril to hold briefly at the top, and a slow exhale on the right, in which case we'll also have the nostril only partway open. Let's begin on the left side. Inhale. And briefly hold. Close your left nostril completely, open the right one partly, and exhale right. Inhale right. Hold briefly, close the right nostril completely, open the left one partially, and exhale left. Continue please for 2 full breath cycles more. Inhale left, exhale right, and then inhale right, and exhale left. When you complete the next exhale through the left nostril, then let yourself rest. Both hands can return to your lap. Without any sense of performance, no sense of pressure. Place the 2 blocks. Come up to Uttanasana. Into the cat pose spine to begin. Firm your right leg, float your left leg up. Begin to stack your hips over your right thigh. And you may raise your left arm to Ardha Chandrasana. The plumb line of the standing leg is at the front of your right heel, at the back of your right arch. Imagine the system of the chakras from your left heel to the pelvic floor, through the center line, kind of like the spine towards the crown of your skull. Allow this pose to slowly release. Eyes, left hand, left arm, shoulders, rib cage, hips. Return your left foot to the floor. Cat pose for the spine. Raise your right leg. Stack your hips thoughtfully. And find your way, Ardha Chandrasana. You may find that you need the blocks under your hands a little bit less. And you can lessen how much contact you have with the block. And try to sense the plumb line from your right heel, the standing plumb line, through the inner thigh, pelvic floor. Where is the bladder? Where are the organs in the stomach at the third chakra? Where is the heart? Your throat, where's your voice box right now? Inside the head, like where is the pineal gland just now? And then you can slowly release as you bring your right hand back down to the block. Let's level the hips. Place your right foot on the floor. And let's step backwards. And using the two blocks, come into a child's pose where your head will not reach the floor. So you've got the hands outstretched in front. Hover the ears between your upper arms. And use the inhale to fill the parachute of the back body, and then the exhale to let there be like a sigh for the mind or the heart, sighing away any sense of separateness from nature or life, releasing any sense of separateness from the divine or from each other, or any sense of separateness from yourself. And then you can walk your hands back towards your knees. Rise up to kneeling. Nice job with that, you guys. Okay, let's do this for Savasana. This is optional, of course, but you're welcome to try it. So I'm going to put one block down for the shoulder blades. One block here for the head. This one is on the medium setting. The first block is on the flat setting, so both shoulder blades will sit there. And so when you lie down, we're going to do a short practice before we go into Savasana, but this position is for that short practice and for Savasana. So what you do is you place both shoulder blades on that block and then your head on the next block. Bend your knees. Let the shoulders and arms relax towards the floor. And then take one leg out straight, second leg out straight. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do here is one more time to clear the windshield of the mind. So we go like this. Here's the inhale, raise the arms up. And time that with your inhale breath. And here's the exhale, sweep the arms wide. Time that with your exhale breath. Palms face down. Inhale, raise the arms. Notice the length of your inhale, the in-breath that you are capable of now. And then exhale, make a wide circle of the arms, about halfway down. Turn your palms to face the floor. Finish with the palms face down. One more time. Inhale, raise your arms. Bring the breath even into the upper chest and the heart and collarbones. And then exhale like a big sigh for the heart, the mind. Palms face down, touch your elbows to the floor, and come to relax. Close the eyes. So when you rest now, I'm going to talk you through a process for your Savasana to go more deeply. Recognizing that the midday is a time where some people are prone to a lot of thoughts about doing things. I'm going to ask you not to do that. So softening the forehead from the center line of your eyebrows to your hairline and out towards your temples. And there, as you relax the forehead, and imagine the body sighing, dissolving any sense of separateness from the divine. Release any sense of separateness from nature. And deeply relax the forehead, softening any sense of separateness. Allow the eyes to be really relaxed, resting back in the sockets. Allow your mind to become deeply still, softening any sense of separateness from nature or from the divine. Allow the hinge of your jaw to be at ease, for your tongue to go limp in the mouth. And as the throat softens, deeply relax any unnecessary tension in the muscles of your neck or your throat. And softening any sense of separateness from the clarity of your own voice. Soften any sense of separateness from the clarity of your own voice. And allow the heart to soften. The rib cage and the sternum can relax. The shoulder blades cradled by this yoga block. Allow the heart to flow downwards towards your shoulders, and down each arm to your fingers and thumbs. Softening any sense of separation from love. Soften any sense of separation from love. Soften any sense of being separate from compassion. And then down to the third chakra, the center of fire. Invite your ribs to relax, and for the abdomen, the diaphragm, to release any unnecessary tension. And soften any barrier between you and your capacity for discernment. Release any barrier between you and your inner discernment. And then down to the second chakra, invite the low abdomen to surrender, to become tranquil once again. And release any barrier between you and your innate vitality. Soften any separation between you and your deepest vitality. And then down to the pelvis and the base of the spine. Invite there to be deep ease here as well. Gently soften any sense of separateness from the earth, from your tribe, from the family of humanity. And you can quietly sense yourself to be like in the river of prana, the river of the chakras, the river of love and wisdom, nature and the divine. And without causing a disturbance to the mind or to your energy, you can gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And bend one knee at a time. And thoughtfully bring yourself back up to sitting. And take your time as you come back up to sit. We don't want you to disturb the energy that you've been cultivating. Nice to see you there, coming back up. Let's place the hands, palms face down in the lap. And try to sense now when you come up, there is this vertical plumb line that is once again in the system of not just the physical body, but also the vital body and the subtle body. And then please bring your hands together at your heart. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.